Hey everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my home here in Santa Monica, California. It is a Saturday afternoon. Taught my morning classes from 7 a.m. So it's been a long day, and Evie and I just walked to our new Trader Joe's and back. It's like 18 minutes one way, so it's a really good walk for her. It is a little chilly, but still slightly sunny here today, so I'm just wearing a light jacket. I want to go ahead and do another collective video. I would like to try to do these, if not once a month in the new year, but at least once every other month, so that you can see how my collection is looking like throughout the year and highlight a handful of babies. So before I go ahead and do re-updated collective videos, say for instance my Hoya, Ripsalis, and Peperomia collectives, I've gotten so much since I filmed those collective videos for the channel. I'll do updates in the new year. I want to go ahead and highlight a handful of plant babies in the collective series before the year ends. And in today's video I wanted to talk about Aeoniums. It is Aeonium season. I'm like, why not? I've never seen them ganged up together, and ever since I did my plant friend Carrie's Aeonium collective video, I was like, I need to gang mine up and see what they look like. And now that I have my very fun crested Aeoniums in my collection, I was like, I think this is a good time. So without further ado, I'm gonna try my best to remember how I got these. Most of them were gifted to me, and give you any backstories on them, and also this will help me to hopefully identify them. If I don't know any of the IDs, please sound off in the comments down below. I'm not an Aeonium enthusiast or anything. I do collect them, and they're not plants that I'm going out and looking for. They just kind of happen to come to me, if that makes sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and leave me a comment down below what was your favorite Aeonium, and if you have any in your collection, how many different varieties do you have? I think that'd be fun to see. I want to talk about my smallest Aeoniums first. Maybe I think I'm gonna do that. So let's talk about the first baby, and I kind of want to get this one out of the way just because I don't know the ID of it. I got it in Las Vegas in, I think, my last Las Vegas haul, which was a couple of weeks ago, and I purchased it because it looked like a crested Aeonium. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and if you know the ID, please let me know. So if you look here, there's different faces to this plant baby, and it's like a tricolor. I've never seen anything like this before, so when I seen it and it was the only one like it, I was like, I have to get it because I think it's a crested Aeonium. So isn't that pretty neat? It's been with me for, I want to say, a couple of weeks, and it hasn't been doing much of anything. And there's actually a handful of plants that I repotted right before this video, including this one. This one was actually living in my greenhouse, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna switch you up to a nice planter for the video. So let me know your thoughts on this one. Do you think it's a crested Aeonium? It gives me a crested Aeonium vibe. It just was never identified when I got it, and it was just mixed in with the succulent. So let me know your thoughts on this particular plant, and I love it. I can't wait to see it get big on me. I've never seen anything like this before, so that was a very fun find. So this one I did purchase. And this was actually one of my Aeoniums that I kind of skipped out on when I was going through the collection, and then right when I sat down to film and hit record, this was peeping at me on the succulent shelf. This happens to me whenever I do collective videos. After I'm done filming, then more pop up that I didn't see, and I'm like, damn it, but I didn't skip out on you. Okay, so this one right here, I don't know the backstory on this one. I'm thinking this was probably gifted to me from one of my plant friends. I don't really buy small Aeoniums. I'll share with you in a second the small ones that I did purchase, but this one was probably given to me from one of my plant friends, and it's been living in this cobalt blue planter on my succulent shelf its entire plant life. It's doing pretty good, and as far as for varieties, I think this is the only one that I have that looks like this. Let me know your thoughts on this one here. What do you think? And it hasn't been growing much on me, so I want to say this was given to me from a plant friend, but I love them, spread it throughout my collection. If you watch my plant tours, you see them on my shelf. Here's another fun one. So these were a plant gift from Catherine, and look at how like prominent it looks, like sticking up, reaching for the sun. I didn't realize that it was like so open and spaced out until I picked it up. Like, how cute is this? Do you see the way how they're just reaching for the sun? I love when they're like looking alive and active. So here's the vibe of this Aeonium. I love the chocolate ombre tips. This is so cute. But yeah, this, I'm pretty sure it came from Cat. I just have it in a thrifted creamer bowl that I got thrifted in Arizona. And yeah, these are very fun to look at. This actually lives in the front of my house with my hardier plant. So this particular Aeonium just got potted up in my turtle planter before I filmed this video. It was actually living in my greenhouse all this time, and I was going through the collection. I was like, whoa, you need to be featured in a nice planter. So I'm dedicating my beautiful turtle planter to these Aeoniums, and I'm trying to figure out who gave me these cuttings. I'm not too sure. It might have been an old friend of mine's, Evelyn, when she gave me that big haul from her mom's yard in Long Beach. It could be from there, but I just love them. I think it works out perfect in this turtle planter. So hopefully we'll see. Aeoniums for the most part are pretty forgiving plants. So if you're new to plant life and want to expand out into different kinds of plants, Aeoniums are a good one because they don't require much of anything and they're very forgiving, hardier plants. So here is one of my Aeoniums and I love it. There's little, like the edge of these two are a little rigid. I like it. So the characteristics of this particular one is so cute, and I think it looks great in the owl planter. So let's talk about the minis. I have two minis, and this one I want to say I got from Las Vegas a while back. These little guys are doing okay. They're very, out of all the Aeoniums I have, the most dramatic ones, because if they get too wet they're gonna start looking not happy. So I try to be very careful with them. They're the most fragile Aeoniums that I have. So this one came from Las Vegas. I've had this now in my collection, I want to say at least for a year. It's sparse looking, but yeah, this is probably out of all of them, this one and my other mini Aeonium I'm about to show you are probably the ones that you maybe want to stay away from if you're new to plant. If you overwater this plant, it's not going to be happy. The rest, I think you can give a little bit more tough love and it be forgiving, but this one it's probably more sensitive. So these are my other mini Aeoniums, and these are also, you gotta be very careful with them. Very fragile plants. Try to not touch them. I'll bring it up close so you can see, and as you can see, the shape of the leaves are slightly different. I'll bring them up side by side. My original one. So this is what it looks like side by side, slightly different. I want to say these ones are more like round and chubby looking, and then these ones are more flat. So both cute, both interesting, and I love having these in my collection. They're so super cute, and to me, like, they're the most high maintenance Aeoniums. Like, just looking at it now, I just want to go through the whole plant after this and clean it up, because Aeoniums, you gotta look at the plant quite often. That's just a characteristic of the plant. The bottom leaves will start drying out and you just gotta go in and clean them up. So these are the smallest Aeoniums in my collection and the most dramatic ones, but very fun to have, and I want to consider this rare. From all of the ones that I'm showing you in today's video, these ones are probably the hardest ones to find. So these are a bunch of Aeoniums here that I have ganged up together. We'll see how they do. And these ones are more delicate side. They're not as hardy and chunky as my big ones, which I will show you in a second. So I think these ones too as well, I would kind of be a little bit more careful when taking care of them. They're more on like the leafy side, if that makes sense. So not as chunky and succulent and hardy. We're getting to the bigger babies now. So that's all of the smaller Aeoniums that I have. Let's talk about the little bigger ones. So these ones, I'm trying to think who gave me this. It could be Tanya if I'm not mistaken. And I just have it in a thrifted cup my mom gave me from Las Vegas. And I love the chocolate edges on this. Like, how pretty is that? And they're reaching for the sun, nice and active. I love it. They're so cute. So these are doing really good. And here is another one, also doing really good. I'll give it a spin so you can see. Nice and active and alive and reaching for the sun. I love it. So it's doing really good. It's in a cobalt blue chicken planter, and this lives in the front of my home. I try to have most of my aeoniums, if not in the front of my home, like my special ones are on my Tiffany blue table so that they can get the max sun. Well, for Santa Monica and my place, there's a lot of shaded areas, but for the most part, the front of my house and my Tiffany blue table gets the most sun. Okay, very similar to the one I just showed you, and this just got potted up in my owl planter. There it is. And then, do you remember when I was asking what should I do with the cutting that I did in a recent planting with Jewelyn episode? This is the one from Tanya recently, and I ended up chopping it down a little bit. There's still a long stem in here, but just to give some different level changes in here. Once it gets rooted, it should be okay, but I decided to cut half of the stem off. But as you can see, like, the characteristic of aeoniums are long and corky looking. But this is a new update for the owl planter. Just got aeoniums put in it today, and I love it. I think it looks great. What do you guys think? Cute, huh? So this will live, I guess, somewhere by my entryway of my front of my home. I think maybe I'll have it by Bob Marley in that section. Here's another one I just planted up in a Buddha planter. So this just got transferred over today, and actually I could have made a whole video of me doing transplanting, but I didn't think I had so much aeoniums hanging around in my space. So what do you guys think? I think it looks great. Again, these are a little bit more smaller in size. Like, look at how cute that is. That looks like, you know, like succulent roses, if there was such thing. And I love the way how they look like for this time of year. So pretty. I love the ombre tips. So this one is super cool. Again, this was gifted to me. I don't know who gave it to me. I want to say Tanya, but I'm not too sure. I didn't buy these though. These were definitely gifted to me, so I think it works well. And this Buddha head planter I got in Las Vegas maybe 4 years ago or something like that, and it was actually gray, and I sprayed it white to match my aesthetic. So I like the look. I'm trying to think what I had in this planter before. I think maybe string of bananas. So this is my only aeonium in a hanging planter, and so far so good. These are my aeonium cuttings that I got in my Bay Area haul from last summer. So not this summer, but 2018 summer, when I went out there for my dance intensive. So I go out to the Bay Area in the summer once a year for my dance school intensive, and the host that I stayed at, she gave me a bunch of plant cuttings. If you haven't watched that, come with me. I did a special plant tour of her collection, and she was so nice. She was like, take whatever you want. So I ended up coming back on the plane with a bag full of cuttings, and these were part of it. So take a look at it. These are very interesting. I've never seen aeoniums like this before, and they're super hardy. They're very forgiving plants. These were growing all around like the gate area of her home, and so far so good. I have not had any problems with this, and I just kind of like this aeonium in a hanging planter moment. I think it's pretty interesting to see it in a planter. As you can see, all of my plants are in ceramic planters, so it's nice to just see it in a hanging basket amongst my little section here with tradescantias and house plants. Like, it's nice to see aeoniums in the mix hanging. So I love it. You can see a lot of aerial roots, but very easy propagator. And these are like my little souvenirs from last summer. So they've been with me now for 1.5 years. Wow, time flies by. I knew this was gonna happen, and I wrapped up the video, finished filming, and then as I'm putting away the collection, I find an aeonium that I skipped out on. So you won't see it at the montage at the end because I put all of the plants back, but I at least want to insert it here for this part of the video so it can be part of the collective. I do that all the time. I have so many plants, I always skip a few when the collective video is done. I'm like, what? How come I didn't see you? You just like popped out of nowhere. So let's bring it up. So here is my aeonium that didn't make it in the montage at the end of the video, which you'll see in a second. And this is a really interesting aeonium. I don't know how I got this aeonium, and there's a bunch of babies here if you see. and it kind of has the same texture and vibe as the airbrushed Aeonium, which you see prior to this one, which is my prized Aeonium, but it has that same vibe to it. So it's more like on the leafy side, and it's growing interesting with lots of different babies here on each side. So this was living in my greenhouse in a nursery planter, but I seen this little owl planter available, so I decided to stick it in here. So I just wanted to insert this Aeonium that I skipped out on. He was hiding in the greenhouse, and it's a variety that I don't have. So if any of you guys know the ID on this one, there's slight little different like bits and pieces of like a rosy-ish color, and there's like slight little tinges of, I want to say like a dark maroon on the edges. I don't know if that's just from not taking care of the plant. I pretty much don't do much for anything in the greenhouse. I kind of just let them do its thing and kind of rehab in there. But I'm kind of interested to see how I got this plant. I don't remember, but wanted to at least insert it for this part of the video, and I think it looks great in this owl planter. If my hair looks crazy, I apologize, but I've been up since 5 this morning for work teaching, and then I took Ebby for that long walk to Trader Joe's and back. Yeah, the mini Aeoniums I've purchased, and that first crested mystery Aeonium, if it is an Aeonium, those I purchased. Everything else was gifted to me. Now the last 3 I am saving for today's video. I purchased myself, and they're the most expensive Aeoniums in my collection, and I think, I don't know, I love them a lot. You guys see them often. I'm gonna bring up my first one. Here is my beautiful, oh my goodness, this is like, I need to enter this in a plant show or something. This thing is amazing. This is my beautiful crested kiwi Aeonium sunburst. I hope I am giving this thing justice. It's in a white planter, and I would want to give it a spin so you can appreciate all sides of this thing. This thing is an art piece, a living art piece. I think this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I mean, just look at the way how it's growing. Like, how cool is this thing? And then look at that, there's some like green ones up here. They just like stick out of all these variegated babies, and I just love the look of this thing. And look, it's like it has an eyelash when I see this aerial root, and I love it. It is so cool. And all 3 of them are in white cylindrical planters, just because I just want the plant to just pop out and have a moment here. I think all I have to do is put a top dressing on it, and I'd be good to enter it in some kind of contest. I know the planter is not interesting and handmade or anything. These were like super inexpensive from, I think, either Chinatown, and I love it. I love it a lot. What do you guys think? This one I purchased, I want to say from Fallbrook, and when I seen it, I was like, I need you in my life. Like, how cool is that? So love this thing a lot. And yeah, this lives on my Tiffany blue table. All 3 of them do. So the last 2 plant babies you recently seen on my probably top 10 succulents, and I'm gonna have to bring it up again. So this is my variegated, look at this, crested Aeonium. I love this thing so much. I actually seen one, a baby one of this in West Hollywood when I went with Catherine. She was gonna get it, but she ended up not. This thing is so cool. I got this from Ventura. I love that place a lot. I always find some cool, interesting plants there. It's just very, very far from me. It takes like over an hour easy to get there. And it's in a white cylindrical planter. Just take a look at it. Again, this probably could win an award too. This thing is so cool and interesting. I am like living for this thing. This thing is so, so cool. This is what it looks like on different points of view here. So like this side is super cool, and then when you flip it this side, it's like, whoa, you can see more of the structure of the plant here, and then every single part of it is crested, and then there's like a random baby over here shooting off that's not crested. But take a look at this, so stunning. This thing is near and dear to my heart, so precious. I love it. The pink tips, super cool. Another living art. I have one more plant baby, and I can't believe it. This thing is so cool. Probably one of the coolest finds. So out of all of the hardier babies, we're talking like succulents and cacti that I purchased in my collection this year, this one is one of them. They're so cool. After those two aeoniums, I was like, okay, I think I have a thing for aeoniums now. They're so weird and interesting. I'm gonna end the video with my latest one. Oh, this thing is so cool. You've seen it in my recent top 10 succulents. I am in love with this thing. It is so cool, and I'm so glad I got this in my collection from Ventura in a white planter. So the only thing that was wrong with the plant when I purchased it was this section right here was missing an aeonium. But if you look really good, a little aeonium baby is popping off from it. I think like 3 or 2, no, maybe 4. So that's gonna be interesting. So once that section fills up, then this plant will be looking 110. Oh my goodness, this thing is so cute, right? If you look really good, it's almost like paintbrush edges here, like a dark maroon and yellow, and then it curls in. So yeah, this is a very interesting aeonium. Again, I'm so fascinated by it. Super, super cool. And one of my coolest finds, I think, for 2019. I'll do a whole top 10 video in the next day or two talking about the 10 coolest plants I found this year. I think that'd be very fun to highlight, to kind of help me document my year in plants. I'm trying to do all these cool top 10 videos to wrap up my plant thoughts for 2019. So you probably might see this one again, but this is such a special plant and I'm so happy I have it. Let me know in the comments down below if you collect aeoniums. Do you love them? Do you find them interesting? Are there common plants for you in your part of the world? Are they inexpensive or expensive plants? And how do you think I styled them? And what do you think about my aeonium collection? I want to say 85% of them was given to me, and 15% to 20% of them I purchased myself. Also in the comments down below, let me know what would you like me to highlight next in my collective series. I know before the year ends, I would like to do a philodendron collective, just so that I can document for myself and my collection to see where I'm at for end of 2019. And I think it'll be fun for me to do it a year from now and see how far my collection has grown. So that's another cool thing about this series. It helps me document my plant life. So I hope you guys enjoyed my aeonium collective video. If you enjoy the collective series, go ahead and check out my channel. There's a bunch of collective videos. I know my Hoya collective is probably the most viewed collective video, and I have much more Hoyas since I did that video. So if you enjoyed today's video, seeing my precious aeoniums, all of their weirdness and quirkiness, give this video a big thumbs up. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. My grandma should be here in a couple of days, so stay tuned. I'll have her back on the channel. We'll do a bunch of clean with me's because my plants definitely need it after the rain, and it'll just be nice to have her on the channel. So stay tuned for that. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads. I have over 500 plants and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. I can't believe it. That's a lot of filming and editing. I hope you guys enjoy watching my plant journey unfold each and every day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye.